July 22, 2025. This is the S&P 500 E Futures Mini on a 2000 tick chart using NinjaTrader 8. Here's what the chart looked like today. A little better volume today. Kind of looked like it went off, continuing from yesterday, sideways, sell off, sideways, step up, another sideways, a rally, two legs down, two legs up, and then another sideways. So it looked like it really was overall, big picture, just kind of in a trading range, a sideways movement. For a couple of setups I actually found today, I took one trade and was profitable. And then there's probably a couple other setups that I thought were probably decent that I ended up unfortunately not taking. So I'm going to get into the charts right now. There's no economic data that came out to really move the markets. Pre-market looked like it was two legs down, kind of bottomed out right around here, moved up in what I thought was this kind of yellow up channel. Okay, then on the open, it kind of sold off, one leg, one push up, pull back, and then a second push up. Kind of hits where I think is some kind of resistance right here, which is this blue line that I drew when it hit here. Create a first entry long, pull back, and it created a second entry long here. Now, the second entry long here, I thought was actually a possible trade. It's a pretty decent signal bar. It's a break of this orange up channel, makes one attempt up, pull back. This could be the second attempt because this needs to test the high. It is potentially within a range because this is a resistance. But I thought this is actually a pretty small 6-tick signal bar, and it closed right at the EMA, probably enough for a quick 1-point scalp. I'm not sure if you would have been able to get two. Let's just take a quick look. Yeah, so there was about 2.25, so you could potentially have gotten two points out of this. But on something like this, where I'm not the biggest fan of this setup, I think I probably just would have went for a 1-point scalp. Prices then started selling off down all the way down. It fit what I thought was this nice green channel. Initially, I had it here. Overshoot, push down, continuation. That's where I actually dragged it out to here because it still fit pretty nicely here. No setups. It's the localized bottom, creates a first entry short, pullback, second entry short. And it pushes up, and this is actually where I take my one and only trade. So break of this orange up channel, break, test the high. Now it looks like it's coming back down. I think this green down channel still needs to test the low. So it looks like it was two attempts up, and in real time, it looks like it's kind of moving its way back down. So I saw this. I liked it. It was a first entry short, second entry short confirming the second entry short. Couldn't break above broke above the EMA, but then it strongly pushed back down right here on the second entry short. Lower high confirms. It kind of engulfed this previous bar with a nice close at the low. So when it opened, I actually got a better fill than I wanted because I was hoping for kind of saving a little bit of risk because this is a 4.25 bar. So I actually put it at the low of this guy. As you can see, I got filled here, going for 2 points because I think there's enough room to get down to here. Flushes down, got my 2 points, and I was out. I did not try going for a runner today, especially on this setup, because I don't really think that there's much room to run before potentially hit here. Now, if it was some other setup like up here where I could tell there might be enough room for a good runner, I would have went for it, but I just decided to take the entire position off. Starts reversing. So even if I did try to go for a runner, because I would have moved it to one stop, one tick below, or one tick below this guy in this case, I probably would have gotten stopped out by this guy or this guy, and my runner would have gotten stopped out anyways. So why, give back any potential profits? Prices move down, kind of bottoms out. So I'm thinking there is some kind of resistance being respected here, and I turn it into a range. I don't trust the high side as much as I trust the low side at the moment because the low side has good confirmations at right here. Pushes up, looks like it's one leg up, first entry short. Here creates a potential second entry short. Second entry short is confirmed here, so it's actually one leg up, pull back, second leg up. Now, in the second entry short, I actually thought it was a possible trade. It's a break of this orange up channel, tests and made a new high. Looks like I made one attempt up, potentially a potential second attempt up. The thing I liked about this is it's a good signal bar. Measure move has been made. At the time, I was playing with the idea that, okay, let's see if I can drag this. It's a little strange. I can't seem to. There we go. I was thinking, was range slightly lower? Because this could have been a failed breakout, and maybe this already touched the top of the range. Later, on one of my trend lines, I had it slightly higher up here. So it was like two lines potential resistance. And in one case, it did touch it. Looked like it was kind of pushing back down. So I thought there was a possible trade here. I wasn't too sure about it, so I kind of left it alone. I like that it made a measure move, though. Then it pushes up. That's where this other second line comes into play, and where it eventually established the trading range to be. Looks like it's confirming, respecting it pretty well. It's a first entry long. Technically, you have a second entry long here, but this isn't a good signal bar. When you see this in real time, you're not thinking of going long just yet. And all you have really is a confirmed second entry long, but it doesn't mean that was a good setup to have taken because it didn't have any good indications prior. Drops around, and that falls into its own little trading range here, pushes up. I'm thinking, is this a failed breakout with potential move back into this trading range? But it kind of hovers and it pushes out. So I draw this green up channel, establishes pretty well. Visually, it looks like it's one leg up, pull back, second leg up. Technically, you have a second entry short here. Count from lows here, push up. First break below, first entry short, push up. This creates a second entry short. There's a possible trade right here, in my opinion, because it is, well, on the bigger scheme, measure to move has been made, but that's still not good enough for this particular setup. But it has a really decent signal bar, move 3 ticks above, push down and close at the low. So when you see this, I'm thinking there's enough room before you hit this potential first resistance for a quick 1-point scalp. Confirmed here now. So in this case, if I was too late to try to take this trade, I'm looking for a lower high. In other words, the next candle hopefully will tick above this sky and then still close at the low. In other words, creating an attempt up, traps anybody thinking of going long, and pushes down. So you technically have a lower high here, but by the time this closes, it feels too close to the EMA. So even though there's a lower high here, it doesn't feel safe. When it oscillates, looks like there might be a trading range here. Fail breakout here, pushes up, respected the high side. I like that. It's failing to break through. It looks like it's coming back down. So my thoughts are prices have come up to the high side, 2 legs down, has a failed breakout here, came back up, tried 3 times to break through. It couldn't. So I'm actually looking for a lower high and hopefully closes somewhat decently, not too low to the low side of this trading range. So I'm looking for a lower high. Lower high never shows up, kind of just comes back up, test the high side again. I also noticed that the EMA is starting to curl up and potentially act as support. So I'm very cautious and trying to go short right here. Bounces. It creates what I think right here is a second entry long. So it's technically localized new high. First entry long pullback. A potential second entry long. It's a decent signal bar. I need to see a break on the next candle above this, so get my thoughts ready. So it does open here, pushes down, and then closes at the high. After this close, you have a confirmed second entry long. I feel like it's too late to try to enter this trade because it's too close to this established resistance. And so after this close, I thought if I put my order down here, what you're essentially asking is the price because it closed here, it's probably going to open right about here, come all the way back down, pick you up, and then reverse back all the way up. Feels like a little bit of a tall ask because this feels like it's already too close to here. So in this case, if I did try to enter 1 tick above here, this would have filled me and likely would have stopped me out because I probably would have kept my stop 1 tick below here, but actually the safer spot would have been 1 tick below here. In this case, if I hung out, this might have got me the quick 1 point scalp. If I'm going for two, I think, let me see. I don't know if I would have gotten the 2 point scalp confidently yet. And as I see this choppiness, most likely if I was still in this trade, I would have just been conservative, take the 1 point scalp. I saw this, I kind of marked it, but it wasn't really a trade setup. So clearly we're in a trading range right here. So it's coming from high side to low side, fail breakout, back to the high side, back to the low side. You could pretty much count this already at the high side again, back to the low, back to the high. I saw this as a new low, first entry short, pull back, second entry short. Second entry short, I like the way the signal bar closed. The thing going against it is the inside bar to here. Next candle, the follow through. So it is a confirmed second entry short here now, except I don't like that it closed above its high. So I really didn't mark it as second entry short because it leaves me a little bit questioning whether it's going to actually move up or down. In this case, it moves back down. So I am really liking that this is a trading range now. So I'm feeling a little stronger about if it hits the high side, just look for a setup to go short. If it hits the low side, look for a setup to go long. But here I'm thinking, okay, it's very short, potentially, because it's a new low, first entry short, potentially a second entry short's about to develop, but I don't like the signal bar the way it closed. Follow through looks pretty good. And I thought, okay, this actually might be a multiple test at the high side, the second entry short. This is actually a potential setup. Initially on the signal bar, this isn't good, but the follow trigger bar makes it a much better setup. So I thought this actually might be a setup to go short here, one tick below this signal bar. So if I did try to enter, I would have gotten filled, and then likely would have gotten the quick scalp here. If I was going for 2 points, one of these guys would have given it to me. So this is actually a possible trade. I think I should have pulled the trigger on this one. Pushes back and out. Now there's another fail breakout. This blue line I drew as thinking, well, this is the trading range I was working with. Could there be a lower part support area? Could this be a failed breakout? Because it looks like it's strongly pushing back in. First entry short, second entry short here. Here, when you see this, you're not necessarily thinking of going short because it is kind of at the low of this trading range, which has been pretty consistent so far. You don't know that it's going to flush down like this. Now oscillates, pushes back up into the trading range. So now here I'm seeing this is a potential resistance yet. So I'm looking for a really good reason to go short. Technically, so you actually have a lower low here, but I took the count from here. First entry short, pull back. I'm looking for a break below this, an indication to go short. The follow through is a doji. I'm not the biggest fan, so now I'm not thinking of going short or long, just waiting to see what happens. The second follow through candle is not technically a doji, but it is pretty close to being a doji. When I see this, I know there's a tug of war happening. I'm very careful now because either the bulls or bears could easily whipsaw it one way or the other. So now I'm just not thinking of any trade yet. And then this third follow through candle is another doji. So now this is definitely telling me don't be ambitious, wait, see what happens. Let this figure itself out. In this case, it flushes up and it keeps going. Moves up what I think is the yellow up channel, break on the high side. First entry long, technically you have a second entry long. You could say it's a bounce off of here, but there's an overshoot here, so I'm reluctant to take the first, second entry in the same direction when there's been an overshoot here. I need a higher low confirmation. Trust that the prices are continuing to go up. And you don't get the higher low. Then prices start moving down this green down channel, break, and then it starts flushing down. So technically you do have a new low here. First entry short, second entry short. I'm not the biggest fan of this hovering right above the EMA. The fall through was decent, but now I'm looking for a lower high, ideally below the EMA. And you don't really get that. It just kind of pushes back down. Unfortunately, there was no confirmation set up here. Hits the low, bounces, first entry short. Technically, you have a second entry short here. I don't really like this going short, but I'm not necessarily trusting to go long. This is the first break of the EMA. in order for me to want to go long, I want to see a higher low. And so you kind of get this congestion sideways. So I'm now not too enthusiastic about going long yet now. Pushes up. Looks like it's going up this yellow up channel. Looks like it made two clean legs up, almost a measured move. I saw this and I was thinking, is there a second entry long here? Technically, you have a new high, first entry long pullback, second entry long. But I also saw it as a potential just visual first entry long. There's no real second entry long, but I marked it because in real time I was questioning it. Pushes up and out, makes a new high. Technically, you have a new high, first entry long pullback. You technically have a second entry long here if you counted it from here. Here, I don't really quite have a triple test yet, so it is bouncing off of EMA. I'm not super excited about it because it looks like it's also part of this leg coming down. So I'm just kind of waiting. The follow through trigger bar, so now you have a confirmed second entry long. It's not very strong, not a very good indication to go long because it closes pretty much bearish. Sideways, I don't really like this. Bounces. Here, I thought there might be a higher low triple test because you can see it's kind of like a visual first entry, pullback, second entry. There is multiple tests here, triple test. Somewhat of a good close, bounce off the bottom of the range. Break of the green down channel has already tested its low. So I'm thinking, is it going to start moving sideways? I ideally wanted a better signal bar close because if it closed at the high, I'd be more confident about it. Plus, it's already at 12:30, well, 12:31. It's getting into the last 30 minutes of the day. So I felt it was super aggressive. There is, I think, a trade here, but I just felt it was not for me. I was already pretty happy with my one trade. Kind of bummed that I missed a couple of these setups, but it wasn't like the time to feel like I needed to try to make something happen. In this case, it would have worked. Looks like it is in this trading range. Here I saw another multiple test setup. Decent signal bar because it's only this 5-tick risk. Unfortunately, if you look at the timestamp, this is only like 5 more minutes left in the day. So this is more just for myself to think if this had set up earlier in the day, maybe there's a trade here, but actually I should just put this in parentheses because it's kind of like an almost trade just because time of day overall wasn't really trying to make anything happen with 4 minutes left. But in this case, it would have worked. And that just happens to be the case that it happened to have worked, so I shouldn't feel FOMO about it. And it kind of pushes into the close. So overall, today was definitely a better trading day than yesterday. More setups, more clearly identifiable setups than it was yesterday. Volume and volatility were a little bit higher. So hopefully going forward to the rest of the week, things pick up like this. So hopefully this was helpful.